Right, guys. So now, uh, now that we have understood working with multiple dimensions and multiple measures, so we'll look at filters. So we'll look at filters in Tableau. Right, we'll look at filters now. So in Tableau, filters will display only the required data by hiding the unwanted data. So what is a filter? So a filter actually hides the unwanted data, and then it will display only the required data in Tableau. Okay, so filter hides the unwanted data and displays the required only the required data in the view. So what are the advantages of using a filter? So what are the advantages of using a filter? So if you use a filter in while developing a dashboard, so the output of the view contains only the required data. So if you want only a specific data to be shown onto the view, we'll use filters. So the output which is viewable by the end user, it will contain only the required data. And uh, by taking only the required data, so the analysis would be faster as well. So by taking only required data and then hiding or not considering the unwanted data, so will will actually do the analysis very faster. So in the process, it will save a lot of our time as well. Okay, so these are few of the advantages of filters. In Tableau, there are different filtering levels. Okay, in Tableau there are different filtering levels. So basically, on a top level, we can perform filtering at 3 levels. In Tableau, we can perform filtering at 3 levels. Perform filtering at 3 levels. So one is at worksheet level. The other one is at data source level. So this is a new feature from Tableau 8. So you can also perform a filter across multiple data sources. So this is a new feature from 10. Okay. So in Tableau, filtering can be performed at 3 levels. So what are those 3 levels? The first level is worksheet level. The second level is a data source level. Second level is data source level. And the third level is across multiple data sources. This is also one more level across multiple data sources. Okay. So within within these we will try to understand what are the different filters that we can apply. Okay, so for worksheet, So if you perform filtering at the worksheet level, if you perform filtering at the worksheet level, Tableau will add filter only to that worksheet. Okay, only to that worksheet, and this is a default, and this is a default feature. So if you apply any filter to a worksheet, apply any filter, so it will apply on a worksheet level by default. Okay, so if you are performing filtering at the worksheet level, Tableau will add filter to only that worksheet by default. Okay, this is the worksheet level filtering. For example, if you add a filter here on a worksheet, so um, Tableau will add a filter only to this worksheet. Okay, this worksheet only. So that is on a worksheet level. So coming to data source level. So if you perform filtering at data source level, Tableau will apply filter to all the sheets which uses that data source. So this is the data source. What is the data source? Training Superstore sales. So at the data source level, if you perform filtering at the data source level, Tableau will apply filter to all the sheets which uses that data source. Okay, so go to data source sheet and add a filter here. Okay, add a filter here. So here you add a filter to get only US data. So where do you have to go? You have to apply a filter on country. Click on OK and select only US. This will hide all the other countries. So where is this filter applied? Where is this filter applied? This filter is applied on a data source level, right? This filter is applied on a data source level. So all the sheets, which are using this data source will have that filter. Which filter? The country filter. So the view changes, okay, because we are applied a country filter on it. Okay, so all the sheets which are using this particular data source will have that filter. So this is a filter on a data source level. There is another filter called across data source levels. If we have multiple data sources, say we have 2 or 3 data sources, here we have only one. So if we add multiple data sources, so sheet 1 is the table and quarterly sales is the data source. So we have one more data source here. So we can also perform filtering across multiple data sources. Okay, if you perform filtering across multiple data sources, then Tableau will apply filter to all the sheets belonging to all the data sources. Okay, so if you apply filters, if you perform filtering across multiple data sources, then Tableau will apply filter to all the sheets belonging to all the data sources. Okay, so we'll see that in detail um, step by step after we look into worksheet data source level and across data source level. Okay, so even in worksheet, so we'll first look into worksheet level. So in worksheet there are different filtering ways at the uh, worksheet level. Okay, so different filtering ways at worksheet level. So at worksheet, we have different filtering ways, like we can filter on a header level, header way, or on marks card. At data view, using filter shelf. Okay. You can also use quick filters. So we can use context filters. You can use cascading filters. This is all done at worksheet level, and also parameter filters. So these are different filtering ways done at worksheet level. Okay, so these are the different filtering ways done at worksheet level. So we'll try to understand different types of filters with a picture depiction. So there are different types of filters. Okay, how many types? How many levels are there? So there are three levels: worksheet level, data source level, and across multiple data sources. Worksheet level, data source level, and across multiple data sources. Right. So within worksheet, we can perform in different ways. So the case of worksheet, can perform different ways. At header, at data view, at marks card, filter shelf, quick filter, context filter, cascading filters, and parameter filters. At header, at data view at marks card. So these are different ways for worksheet level filtering. So at filter shelf, using quick filters, using context filters, using cascading filters, and parameter filters. So this is at this is at worksheet level. These are different ways to perform filtering at worksheet level. So within filter shelf, we can perform at 3 more levels. So within filter shelf, perform filtering at 3 more levels. So what are those? You can filter dimensions, filtering dimensions. You can filter dates. And we can filter measures as well. So this is at filter shelf level. Okay. So what are the different levels and methods or ways to filter in Tableau? So here, so these are the different ways. Okay. So in Tableau, filtering can be performed at 3 levels. So what are those levels? We can perform at worksheet level. So the first level is worksheet level. The second level is at data source level. Okay, at data source level also we can apply filters. At worksheet level also we can apply filters, and we can apply across multiple data sources as well. So we can apply filters across multiple data sources. So within worksheet we can perform, okay, within worksheet we can perform in different ways. So where at header, at data view, at marks card, okay, using filter shelf, using filter shelf, quick filters, okay, context filters, cascading filters, and parameter filtering. Okay, these are the different ways that you can apply filters at which level? At worksheet level. Okay, at worksheet level, we can apply different filters. And within filter shelf, we can filter dimensions, we can filter dates, and we can filter measures as well. So within filter shelf, using filtering, using filter shelf, we can filter dimensions, we can filter measures, and we can filter dates. Okay, so if we perform if you perform if you perform filtering at the worksheet level, if you perform filtering at the worksheet level, Tableau will add filter to only that worksheet by default. So if you perform filter at the worksheet level, that means if you perform a filtering at a worksheet level. So what is a worksheet? So this is a worksheet, right? So this is a worksheet level. So if you perform filtering at the worksheet level, Tableau will add a filter only that worksheet by default. So the filter will be applied to only that worksheet. So for example, if we have a view like this and we are applying a filter, we want to show only technology and office supplies. So this filter of department is only applied on a filter level, on a sheet level, on a sheet level. Okay, only this sheet will have this filter. Okay, so any other filter, any other sheet will not have the same filter. So if you use container and sales in another sheet, if you use container and sales in another sheet, those values will not have that filter. See, the jumbo box is having 1.59 million. So whereas having a filter of office supplies and technology is showing only uh, 165,000. Okay, so we- if we apply a filter, if we performing filter at the worksheet level, Tableau adds filters only to that worksheet by default. Okay, right. So at the data source level, so if you have if you perform filtering at the data source level, Tableau will apply filter to all the sheets which uses the that particular data source. So we have applied a data source and seen how we can do that. So we'll go to data source sheet and apply a filter on a data source level, and all that this filter will be applied to all the sheets using this data source, all the sheets using data source called training superstore. Okay, only US data would be shown in all the sheets using training superstores data source. Similarly, we can apply
Great, yeah,
uh, filtering across multiple, yeah, we can apply filtering across multiple data sources. Then Tableau will apply filter to all the sheets belonging to the data sources. Okay, right. So we'll perform a task here to apply different types of filters. The task is to display even year sales. So if you want to display even number of year sales, so we'll we'll apply filter on a worksheet level and at header using a header. Okay, so we will drag order date and drop it into rows. Okay, here, so we'll in the year header we'll select a filter and we'll keep only 2010 and 2012 and click on apply. So this will show only those years in the header. So we'll now drag sales and drop it into roles. Okay. So here we have sales by only even year sales. So what we have done here, we have applied a filter at header level. So at header, so we'll go back. So before applying a filter at header level, we have 4 years, 2010, 11, 12, and 13. So we have right clicked on the header and selected filter and selected only those years that we want in the header to be shown. Okay, so we want 2010 and 2012, which are even years. Clicked on apply, clicked on OK, and shown sales, and I've shown sales and swap out the columns and rows. So here we are able to see, we're able to see, and we're able to see even year sales only. Okay, so we are basically applying a filter at header level. Right, so we'll see marks card level. Okay, so we'll drag order date into, we'll open a new sheet, we'll drag order date into column and color. Okay, in the color window, we'll select 2010 and 12 and select keep only. So we'll select only 2010 and 2012 and we'll select apply. So this will show only 2010 and 2012 on a marks card level. So this is applying a filter at a marks card level. So we'll drag sales, drop it into the rows. Okay, so basically we are getting a filter by applying it on a marks card. So we are getting a filter by applying it on a header level. Also we are getting a filter applying it on a marks card level. So we'll see how we can get it on a data view level as well. So we'll drag order date into columns and then sales into rows. In the data view, so we'll select year. Okay, we'll show filter from the data view. We will select year of 2010 and 2012 only. Okay, from data view, we can add a filter like this as well. Okay, from data view, we can add a filter view like this as well. So we'll perform one more task to display only the contents whose name is starting with A and their profits. So we can add a filter with the continents whose name is starting with A and their profits. We'll drag continent into rows in the header. Okay, we'll drag the continent into rows. So in the header, we'll select only continent names starting with A. So we'll right click on the header. We'll click on filter here. Okay, and go to wildcard and select starting with, and we'll select A here. Okay, and click on apply. Click on apply and click on OK. Okay, so we'll drag coordinate into rows the header. Okay, we have dragged content into rows in the header and select only continent start. We have selected only continent names starting with A. Okay, right. Now we'll drag profits into columns. Okay, so we have to first remove the filter we have applied on a data source level. We'll go to edit data source. First remove the filter of country here to show all the continents. Right. So now we are able to see all the continents here because we have removed the filter of US. So if you have only US, we'll be able to see only North American data. Okay. Now we have removed the filter, so we are getting all the continents. So yeah, so we'll right click on the header and click on filter. So here in wildcard, we'll press on, we'll select start with, press A, and click on apply and OK. So now we are getting only Africa, Asia and Australasia because these are the continents starting with A. And show profit. Okay. So this is how we can perform filtering on a header level. Okay, on worksheet. We have to note here that performing filtering at the data view level, marks card level, header level is not recommended if the field contains huge amounts of data. So we have seen three types of levels, right? So applying filters at data view level, marks card level and header level. Okay, so this is not recommended if the field contains huge amounts of data. Okay, so if we have huge amounts of data, we should not use this type of filtering levels. We can use this only if we have small amounts of data in the data source. So what should we do if we have huge amounts of data? So we have to use filter shelf to perform filtering. So we have to use filter shelf. Okay, so we have seen header. So applying filter at worksheet level at header, at data view and at marks card view. So if there is a huge amount of data, we should not use these three types of ways. So we have to use filtering. Uh, we have to use filtering at filter shelf level. Okay, at filter shelf level, we have to perform the filtering if we have huge amounts of data. So we'll now see filtering at filter shelf level. Filtering at filter shelf level. So at the filter shelf, we can perform filtering dynamically by passing the required conditions in different ways. Okay, so we can perform filtering dynamically by passing the required conditions in different ways. Okay, so what are the different ways? We can filter text and geographic dimensions. We can filter date and date plus time dimensions, and we can also filter measures. Okay, so uh, we can filter. So what are the different ways that we can filter using a filter shelf? So we can filter a text or a dimension, geographic dimensions. Okay, the first way is you can filter text fields or geographic dimensions fields. You can filter text fields or geographic dimension fields. So we can also filter date or date plus time fields. You can also filter date or date plus time dimensions. So dates also are a type of dimensions, right? So dates are also types of dimensions. Where are dates here? Okay, Ship date, where is it located? Under dimensions, right? Order date, where is it located? Under dimensions. So dates are also a type of a dimension. Okay, so filtering date or date plus time dimension. So we can identify whether a filter a dimension is a date dimension or a date plus time dimension. If you are having a calendar, it is a date dimension. If you are having a calendar and also a time, a clock on it, so then it is a date plus time dimension. So it is, if you have in a calendar, this is a date dimension. You have a date and also a clock here, icon of clock, that denotes a date plus time dimension. So we can also filter date plus um, date plus time dimension using filter shelf. You can also filter measures. You can also filter measures. So this is also a way to filter using filtering shelf or filter shelf. Okay, now we look at filtering text and geographic dimension. So we'll look at filtering using filtering text and geographic dimensions. Okay, so in dimensions we have text, right? So so continent is a dimension. So the values in that are text. Africa, Asia, and Australia are text. Also we have geographical data also. City, in cities, if you use a city here, so we have, if you use a city, so city also contains geographical text data, right? So so we can filter text or geographical dimension as well. So we'll see that with a task. So we'll display all the customers. We'll display all the customers whose name is starting with A. So we'll drag customer name with into filter. Okay. In the filter window, we'll select wildcard. So we'll enter the match value as A.
So is this a case sensitive?
No, it is not.
Okay.
And select start with. In select match value should be A and it should be start with. And click on apply. Then click on OK. Okay. So right. So we'll drag customer name into rows. And sales into columns. And sort it. So yeah, we have to note here that the wildcard search is not case sensitive in Tableau. Yeah, you have to note here that the wildcard filter, okay, this wildcard filter, wildcard search. So the wildcard search is not case sensitive. Is not case sensitive in Tableau. It is not case sensitive in Tableau. Okay. So what is this wildcard searching? So what is it about? So searching the input string based on a, so searching the input string based on a single character or a group of characters is known as this wildcard search. So what is this wildcard search? Searching the input string. What is the input string here? Okay, so input string is A here. So input string based on a single character or a group of characters. We can use a single character or a group of characters here. So searching like this is called as a wildcard searching. So this is not a case sensitive, and the wildcard search is not case sensitive in Tableau. Okay. So now we'll perform another task. So what is the output here? So here in this task, in the first task, we are getting only the customers whose name is starting with A. So this is a type of uh, text or geographical dimension filtering. Okay. right? So moving on, so we'll perform another task to display all the customers whose name is not starting with A. So we'll drag customer name into filter, okay, we'll drag customer name into filter. We click on wildcard and select the match value as A. Okay, and select exclude and select exclude. We click on apply and OK. Drag customer names into row, same process again, similar process again, and display the say profits here, for example, and sort it. So we'll have all the customer names who are not having their names starting with A. So we're basically excluding the names starting with A. This is also one of the examples that we can use. Okay. So we'll perform another task to display all the customers whose name is ending with D. So we'll use the same, we'll duplicate this sheet. And then we'll click on edit filter, go to wildcard, uncheck excludes, check ends with T. Okay, so this displays all the customers whose name ends with D like this. Okay, so we have seen that it's not a case sensitive thing because we have used small d. So similarly, we can use capital D as well. It will display the same output. Okay, it is not case sensitive. Okay, so now we'll perform one more example to display all the countries whose profit is more than 1 lakh. We'll drag country and drop it into filter. Okay, and click on condition and select by field. Okay, select by field and select profit. And sum greater than 1 lakh. Sum greater than, sum should be, the aggregation should be sum, and it should be greater than 100,000. Okay, greater than 100,000. Click on apply and OK. Okay, so click on country geographic field. This is a geographical field and drag into the view. Okay, and now drag profit also into the view. To label, drag it into label and show a bubble chart like this and increase the size. Right, this is fine. Okay, so basically we are showing only those countries who are having profit more than 100,000. Okay, so US is the country which is having the highest number of profits, followed by China and India and Brazil. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are applying a filter. We're applying a filter on country. So this is a filter which is applied at filter shelf. Okay, it is applied at a filter shelf. So we have applied country filter. What is the condition that we have applied? We have applied condition of profit. We applied a condition called profit more than 100,000. Okay, that is by field called profit. So this is filtering all the countries based on the profits uh, greater than 100,000 only, and displaying only those countries. So this is a way of applying the filter onto filter shelf. Okay. Okay, we'll perform one more task. So now in this task, we'll display the item wise discount whose discounts are less than 8%. So the requirement of save our client is to display discounts, item wise discounts whose discounts are less than 8%. So in a retail store there are a number of items. So and, there are many items which are having discounts. So the retail store owner wants to see only those items whose discounts are less than 8%. So using filters, we can show that view to him. So for that, we'll drag items into filter. Like, okay, we'll first drag item into filter. Okay, and then click on condition. Click on condition and select by field. Select discount and average is the aggregation that we want to show, and the operator here is less than what is the percentage? 8%. So 0.08 is the number that we have to use to denote 8%. Click on apply and click on OK. So we'll drag item into rows and discount into columns. Okay, and sort it. Okay, so here we have to default properties, we have to keep it as automatic. Okay, now we are getting only those items which are having discounts less than 8%. So the maximum percentage here is 2 point around 2.7 or 2.8%. So all these items are having discounts less than 8%, less than 8%. Okay. Okay. So this is how you can show. So you can even edit the axis. Okay, so we can show the discount as a default properties, number format, in custom suffix can be percentage here. Okay, like this. So this is the discount percentage of all the items, so which are having less than 8%. Okay, so we are applying filter at the filter shelf level like this. Okay, so our condition is satisfied. So we'll perform one more task to show customers who are showing us loss only. Okay, so we'll drag customer names into filters. The condition should be select by field and select profit, and aggregation should be sum, and operator should be less than 0. So that means from these customers we are not having a single profit. Okay, so single dollar of profit. So the profit is less than 0 means we are having negative profit from those customers. So these are customers who are causing us loss. So we'll click on apply and click on OK. So we'll drag the customer name into the rows. Okay, profit into columns. So these are all the customers who are actually giving us a lot of loss. Okay, these are all the customers who are having profit less than 0. All negative profits. See, these are all negative profit customers. So if you want to see customers who are causing us loss, so we can use filters like this, right? So we can also adjust this profit. So we'll go to profit, default properties, number format, select custom, currency custom, because profit is in currency, right? So select currency custom and select 2 decimal places. So prefix should be dollars. Okay, so we are able to show profit in dollars. That is also in negative format. Okay, right. So this way you can use filters. So we'll perform few more tasks. So we'll continue with the few more tasks tomorrow and try to understand this concept better. Okay, so do you have any questions till now?
I'm good, Kranti.
Okay, right. Right. Please submit your assignments that has been shared to you. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
See you tomorrow. Bye bye.